in the television world, it's very difficult to put 2 people together, 3 people together, 4 people together and have it work. It takes some time for the chemistry to hit. Look, seriously, we've been at it for 7 years. TJ, you started being on this show regularly about, 15, 16 months ago, right? A year and a half ago or something like that? Exactly. And we feel comfortable together. We kind of know what each person is saying. It took me a while. Irv, Mooch, Kurt, when I'm sitting next to them, I know exactly when they want to get in by their body language. I know that they want to say something more. I know that my producer's in my ear saying, you got to wrap it up, get to the next segment. But I could tell Irv is moving his body in a certain way that he wants to say one more thing. It takes a long time to figure that out. And sometimes they can't get chemistry down right. Like when Del Tufo leaves his microphone open and keeps tapping on his keyboard.
That's bad chemistry.
Right?
I'm sorry, Rich.
But it's only been 7 years. It's all good.
And you look at me.
But it's not easy. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that when you're trying to start something new in our television business, certainly in a streaming world, certainly when there's different choices and 19 million channels and things like that, you want to get, certainly if you're starting a show with 2 people, somebody who's known each other for a long time, the chemistry's not forced. That's why Wilbon and Kornheiser are so terrific on Pardon the Interruption, because they've been, talking to each other in a newsroom for decades. Mm-hmm. And you want to have people knowledgeable. Wilbon and Kornheiser are very knowledgeable. You want to have people knowledgeable and a great chemistry. Certainly if you're not used to the type of programming that you're trying to start. Like, say, people talking over a game, not actually calling a game live when the game is the biggest marquee game of the night in Monday Night Football. So when you get 2 people as knowledgeable as Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, each of them with 2 Super Bowl victories on their resume, and the chemistry you don't have to worry about because they're brothers. It is absolutely a perfect combination for something to work. The issue is, or can be, is somebody, certainly like me, I want my game called snap by snap, play by play. I want it to be talked about in real time. That's what I'm used to as a 52-year-old man. I'm used to play by play. And I also appreciate great play by play. I love doing it myself. And the last thing I want to do is have that type of craft downgraded. So I come into this with an opinion of, I don't know, even if I do genuinely like the people on the screen, I don't know how I'm going to like this. And, I don't know how Steve Levy and the rest of the Monday Night Football crew feel about this either. That their own company is starting another show for somebody to watch while they're doing their craft. I don't know the answer to that. Not my problem, not my table. I'm not in management at the worldwide leader in sports, which is why I'm sitting here today. To be very honest, waiting on my invitation for 19 straight years for an ESPY Awards I used to attend all the time and do a pregame show for. I will say this about Peyton and Eli's debut last night on ESPN2 during Monday Night Football. I tuned into it in the very beginning, and it was difficult for me to take in because they were talking amongst themselves and had a great chat with Charles Barkley. And again, I needed to get out of the mindset of I want every single play called in real time and broken down in real time. And if there's something on the screen that's happening, again, this is my default as a television host who has to talk about everything on the screen as it happens, and somebody's not doing that. It kind of is like listening to a record being played on the wrong speed or being scratched, It's kind of like nails on a chalkboard, but that's me. Again, I'm a professional host, and I need to get out of that. After a while, I got out of that. And then I did turn it back to Monday Night Football when I just wanted to make sure that I was getting the real-time snap talk, because sometimes they were missing plays a couple of times early on. But I got used to it fast because they are so engaging and they are so smart. And it was fun sometimes when Peyton was putting a helmet on that didn't fit. And then I found myself wondering, how are they going to handle controversial moments? How are they going to handle moments that need to be talked about? The calls, the coaches, the referees, the players. Mm-hmm. And they handled it with aplomb. They were terrific. And Peyton, you could see, does not suffer bad football gladly at all.
Hates it.
Like, you could see he'll just sit back and give this face and just, and shake his head. Bad football to Peyton Manning is the scratching of the nails on the chalkboard. And you could see it. And Eli would give in a little zinger to him and then everybody else. And it was fun. And then Russell Wilson showed up in the fourth quarter. And that was when they just started boring down into the play as it was being called, as it was being run, as the pre-snap was being handled, as the post-snap was going down. And they were now reacting to the play just like I was sitting on my couch. And I felt like I was hanging with them watching a game. And suddenly, Russell Wilson was like a third man in the booth, a real-time, big-time, A-list elite quarterback with 2 future Hall of Famers. Yes, Eli is that. And it was spectacular. It was riveting. It was must-see. And they're going to get me back next Monday.
It also helped, Rich, too. I agree with everything you said. It helped that the game was awesome, and then there was a lot of crazy stuff happening. Right. I'm wondering, if weeks down the line, if it's a blowout, what that's going to be like.
Well, my suggestion would be to have some things in their back pocket, be ready to talk about the headlines of the day, and also some of the yesteryear stuff.
Yeah,
and they'll figure it out.
I think a blowout's going to make it easier for them.
Well, again, it was just spectacular for a first-time foray. Yeah. It is not easy. But I was smarter for it. I was laughing with them. I was going up. I was getting off the chair with them.
Peyton's
I was
hilarious.
Putting my head on my hands on my head like them. It was great. I mean, kudos to them. Chris Webber, another Hall of Famer, coming up next.
Just the end, too, the craziness of overtime.
Their reaction about, like, they're not going to go cover zero. Well, that's what they do. Here comes cover zero, and this is what I would do. When Derek Carr hard counted on the goal line,
Eli was
like, what are you doing?
All over it.
What are you doing? And then the funny stuff, like they showed somebody's tweet, and Eli's like, we got a tweet for you, Peyton, because you were asking for social media, which you know from a brother is like he doesn't really want it or care about it. And the question was, with Russell there, like, are you guys going to do this commentary for the Met Gala red carpet afterwards? At which point they asked him, hey, is your wife there, Russell? And Ciara was there, and they showed a photograph of her on the red carpet looking beautiful in this what looked like sequin or diamond Russell Wilson 3 jersey gown. And Peyton pointed out, I didn't even see it, and this is how funny he is and how observant he is. He pointed out that she was wearing Russ's Super Bowl ring, and he said she's wearing the ring that I wanted. And because, Russell beat Peyton in that Super Bowl in MetLife. And Russell's comment was, well, Tom Brady's wearing one that I wanted too. And it was just great. And I will just finish up with this. I've been very, very lucky in my career. And my career, I realized early on from jump when I got to NFL Network that my job as host is to take you as viewer and fan and put you in my shoes. I'm your fly on the wall. That's why the show I hosted for the first 8 years at NFL Network was called Total Access, NFL Total Access. I'm like, I'm going to be the host of NFL Total Access. Well, guess what? I will be the one providing you, thanks to the NFL Network, your access. I have been in green rooms with Marshall Faulk, Deion Sanders, Warren Sapp, Michael Irvin, Steve Mariucci, Kurt Warner, LaDainian Tomlinson, Rod Woodson, just to name a few. I've been around Ray Lewis as well, and, the rest of all the Hall of Famers that I've been fortunate to be around. And I've heard them talk ball watching a game. And it made me smarter, and I kept thinking to myself, this would be a great television show. Peyton and Eli last night, that was that television show. It sounded exactly like the conversations amongst all-time greats who know more football in their fingernail than we know in the rest of our body, talking ball. It was awesome, and it's only going to get better. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.